hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lisa, also known as Yoyarngirl, and I am back. I am finally back trying to get on a regular schedule of podcasting, but yes, I am back. So for those of you that have been following me and you've been waiting a long time for this, thank you so much for coming back to watch. I run a regular traditional podcast where I go over my finished objects, my works in progress, my dream knitting, and some acquisitions. Places that you can find me, I am over on Ravelry as Yoyarngirl67. I'm here as Yoyarngirl. I'm also over on Instagram as Yoyarngirl, and then I have a Facebook page as well. That's Yoyarngirl. I do have an email for the podcast, which is yoyarngirl@gmail.com. So those are the places that you can find me. And yes, it has been a long time since I have done a podcast. I've done a couple of posts over on Instagram, but there's just been a lot of life things going on, all good stuff. And so I've been away from the camera for a bit, but it feels good to be back behind the camera. I will admit I'm rusty, so bear with me as we get through this podcast, but I am back and hope to be on a more of a regular schedule, which is about every 2 to 3 weeks. There was something else I was going to mention, and of course it has just left me, and so it'll come back to me, I'm sure, at some point, and I will cover that. So I do want to put out a little bit of a disclaimer. I am going to be showing some baby knits, and I know that's not always, it's just not, for some people it can be hard. So want to put that out there. There will be some baby knits, and there'll be more in live chatter as to why. So we'll talk a little bit more of that when I get into live chatter, but I think at this point we should just dive right in. I have about 4 or 5 finished objects today. I have lots of works in progress. I'm only going to show a few of those works in progress. We'll go over some of my dream knitting, a few of my acquisitions, and then we will close out from there. I hope to put a little bit of video in either in the beginning, and I may put a little bit in the beginning and a little bit of the end of just some life things. So to get started, my first finished object is a pair of socks that has probably been on the needles for a while, but I have finally finished them. So let me just go over a little bit. This is just a plain vanilla sock that I added some stripes here and added a different color cuff. This is out of a yarn from A Girl in Her Wool. She no longer dyes yarn, but I love her, love her yarn, and I have lots in my stash. So you'll see some of this come out and start to be used on socks or hats or things like that. But I use that for the cuff. I used it for my heel, which is a shadow wrap heel in this sock. And then I used it also in the toe. Sorry, can't see what I'm showing you. And the pink is actually a really old color. Let's see if I can, or I should say it's a skein that's been in my stash a very long time there. That's better. And that is from a Knit Crate. So I used to have a Knit Crate subscription. They are no longer in business. I really liked their yarns, and so this was one of the yarns that I got in my subscription box. My lighting might be a little bit off. I'm in a new area, so I've got to figure all that out, and my camera was acting kind of strange, so we'll see. But just a plain vanilla sock. So my next finished object is another pair of socks, and these socks I started knitting back in January. I put down for a while and then finish them. I did not finish them in January. I finished them probably in February, maybe March, but I have not filmed, so you have not seen these unless you follow me over on Instagram. And here is just a kind of scrappy pair of socks. So I am part of the League of Extraordinary Sock Knitters. It's a group that Knitty McPurly has started, and she dyes yarn, and then we knit socks out of the Summerly sock project booked. So this was one of the socks out of there. I changed this up. There were very distinct colors, and Knitty McPurly dyed up the colors specifically for that pattern. Of course, I'm extra, so I did something a little bit different, and I added additional colors in to the minis. It was this month, that month, we got minis, and I added additional minis. So yeah, and maybe I'll pop a picture in of what the original looked like, but this is my finished object. Let's see if I can get you better. There, maybe that's better. On those colors. So really like this pair of socks, and it'll probably be for me. So I am trying to knit I want to get through like 12 different pair for me, if not more, for this year, but so far I only have 2 off the needles. So, and I do have some works in progress, so, and I'll show those a little bit later. But those are my first 2 finished objects, are socks. My next finished object, I have 2. One, they are little washcloths, and I just use I think it's Grandma's dishcloth recipe or pattern, but I will be using these they will be used as washcloths. Let's see if that'll focus. There we go. There we go. I like the holes on the edges. Some people don't like that, but this is out of a Lily Sugar and Cream, and it's called Buttercream is the color, but I really like that. And I have a work in progress in the same colorway. It's not washcloth, something else. But yeah, like those colors. And then I just did one in a plain white. And it's also Lily and Cream cotton, sugar and cream cotton. These are just easy. They, take just a couple of hours to knit up, so I'm knitting up a few of those. Okay, and I have, I think, one last finished object. And I have not, I should say it's almost finished. I have not woven in the ends, and I also need buttons. So I will throw that out there, that if you know of a shop, or either on Etsy or somebody else that does buttons, I'm looking for buttons not only for this project, but I'm also looking for buttons for a sweater that I'm finishing up. And I love for suggestions, so please comment below if there's a place that you get buttons and they have a good selection, I guess I should say. This is the My First Romper. You guys, oh my goodness, I am so in love with this romper. It is just the cutest little thing. Hopefully you can see that. So I need buttons for my strap. So I need 5 buttons total, 2 for the straps and then 3 for the crotch area of this little romper. And I knit this up in Knit Picks Dishy. I believe the color is mushroom. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But this is a pattern by, I want to say Marie, hold on because I wrote it down. I'm trying to get better about writing about my projects and just, you know, different notes and things that I like about it and that kind of stuff. So, of course I write it down, but then I got to get to it. So it's by Marie Eve. I want to say it's Parent. I think it's French, but Parent. And I used a US 8. That's worsted weight cotton. A US 8 5mm needle on that. And yeah, just need some buttons and to weave in a couple of those ends, and I will be done with the little My First Romper. Okay, and that is bringing me so much joy. I do have one more knit it's semi-done. I still have to make the straps for it and weave in my ends. And this is the baby wrap, I believe it's called. And it's just a cute little baby wrap. It's knit in pieces. That's the only thing I don't like about it is that it is knit in pieces. I think I have figured out a way that I can do at least the sleeves in the round. And I think Kim from the Knitting Posse, she did knit this, and I want to say maybe she knit it in the round. So you do a 3 needle bind off for the shoulders up here, and then you have to attach the sides for this baby wrap. I absolutely love this pattern. It's super cute, and it's supposed to be just easy to put on baby to where you're not having to put things over their head. But I still need to do the little I-cord side straps and then weave in my ends. But this is pretty much done. This was done out of Lion Brand's 24/7 cotton. It's a mercerized cotton. Love that cotton. I've got a t-shirt on the needles for myself that I haven't finished, but I will hopefully go back to because I haven't frogged it because I want to go back to it and finish it. But yes, I really like this. It's just easy knitting. And the sides pretty much stay open. It's just the straps that tie and keep that around baby. So again, little baby wrap. And yeah, super easy knit. Really love it. So that is that. And then I have, I think that's probably, yeah, that is it for what I'm considering finished. So I now will move on to works in progress. So my first work in progress is another baby wrap. And this is done in Lily's Sugar and Cream, and it's in that same colorway, buttercream, that the washcloth was done in. I still have sleeves to put on this one. Let's see if I can get this to focus for you. There we go. So I've got to put on the sleeves, and then of course do the I-cord straps for this. But absolutely love that. So but yeah, it's in pieces. So, and this is a free pattern over on Ravelry. So, but very easy knit. So if you want to, this and the My First Romper, super easy, can be done in less than a day or a day. But yeah, if you have a last minute baby shower that you're going to, something like that, this is a really good pattern for that. So yeah. I want you to get that color because it's so pretty. Yeah, so another baby wrap. So those are quick and easy to take a sip of I'm just having some iced coffee. Okay, I think we're going to move on to we're already in works in progress. Told you I was out of practice. Okay, my next work in progress is another My First Baby Romper, or My First Romper, I guess it's called. And I like this one probably as much, if not more, probably because the colors. So yeah, let me show you this one. I want to make sure I get the front. So, there's a few strings, so it's a work in progress here. So I'm just getting to the strap here, and then I'll be done once I do this side with the strap. My First Romper. And I'll try and also pop a picture in just so you can kind of see that, but this is such an easy knit and a lot of fun as you see it coming together. This is also out of the Lily Sugar and Cream, and I have another ball of this in a different, it's got pinks and yellows in it. I'm gonna start to knit that one up probably tomorrow, and so that I will have 2 or 3 of these. So I need buttons. So please, suggestions below for buttons. But yeah, so almost done with that one. And I'll actually finish that up today, probably right after I'm done podcasting. So, and if I didn't say, today is Saturday, June 14th. This is Father's Day weekend for those of us that are in North America. So, okay. And my next work in progress has been on my needles for a while. Back before I moved, I had started a kind of a sweater experiment type and really just sweater project. I was doing a cardigan, a piece sweater, one that you're gonna put together, a pullover, and a color work. And I haven't finished any of them. However, I'm getting really close on the cardigan, which also is done in pieces. And I did this from a Craftsy class by Amy Herzog. It's like the basic cardigan, or I think it's like my basic cardigan or something, or basic sweater, I think it is. But this is the back. And I've shown this on a previous podcast, so this is not anything new. I am so in love with this color. This is it's a sport weight yarn that I've added mohair, and the mohair is from Blackbird Fiber Company. She's on Etsy, and I get mohair from her. I absolutely love her mohair. But then I have just an oyster non-superwash yarn from Knit Picks. This fabric that it's making is beautiful. Let's see if I can, there you go. And this is the back, and I guess what I was trying to get at is this is being done in pieces, so I'm doing a sweater in pieces, and this is really to try to figure out the best sweater fit for me, because I was struggling with the way sweaters fit me. Part of it was my measurements. I was not taking my measurements correctly, and so I think now that I have figured that piece out, it's gonna help with my sweater knitting and just the fit for me. But I still wanted to do this experiment and see what works best for me. So that is the back. I have now completed I've completed both fronts, but I did complete both fronts. However, I noticed that one I had decreased at the incorrect rate. So it was weird. And I ended up having to pull that back. And I'll show you in a second, but I'm just about done with correcting that. So this is my left front. And again, the fabric is just wonderful that it's making. That knit picks and the mohair, the blackbird yarn mohair. And I'm sorry about this focus because I just hate that that's happening. So that's my left front. And then this is my right front. And where I had pulled back, and I'm working on getting that finished up. Don't have too much more to go. So hopefully I can have this done in the next week or so, and then I'll start on the sleeves. And once I do that, then I'll be able to mattress stitch this together, and I will have this cardigan. And although I am in Arizona where today it's like super duper hot, it's in the hundreds, and I love that. Every time you go someplace, the AC is blasting, so I'm gonna be knitting a lot of cardigans. So I love the warm weather, but the way AC is here, I'm gonna still be able to enjoy and wear all of my knits. So I'm super excited about that. And I am gonna start do a lot of wraps, so that way I can layer when I go into a restaurant or go into a store. I can just put on a wrap and then I can just stick it back in my bag and go outside. So no big deal. But yes, so that is my cardigan that I am knitting up. And like I said, that's a class that I was doing on Craftsy. And I will have a link below for Craftsy. For any of you that are not familiar with Craftsy, sorry, words, wow, goes back a long time. So that was one of the platforms that I went to when I first was teaching myself to knit. And I was still living in Florida then. They used to also sell yarn. And I loved the Cloudborn yarn, and it went away. I don't know if anyone carries that. I really do like that yarn. I have quite a bit in my stash, so I am working through that on some sweaters that I am knitting, but I do like that yarn. But I love some of the classes that they have, and it's not just knitting. They have sewing, they have crochet, they have cooking, photography, but it's a really good platform if there's something that you're looking to learn. You can head over to Craftsy and see if maybe there's something there that is for you. So I will link them below. Okay, my next work in progress is a pair of socks, and this is being knit with just a ball of Peyton's Croy. And I'll look to see if I have the ball band in the bag, and I can tell you what the color is. So this is where I am with that, with one of the socks. Just finished up my heel turn and starting some rows. That yellow, which I absolutely love in this sock, is just a Knit Pick Stroll fingering. And I think it's just the color is like yellow. So, but I really like that. So that's that, and let's see if I've got the ball band. And then of course it's, can I see it? Let's see what it is. Oh, Singin' the Blues. Singin' the Blues stripes. Sorry, my glasses are dirty, so they're dirty, so I don't have them on. But that's just a sock whip that I've got going on. And I have the second one also on the needles. I've done a little bit, not a ton to this one. I think I'm 30 rounds in to the leg. So I'll catch this one up and then continue on with that. But I'm gonna go ahead and catch this one up before I continue knitting on that other one. Okay, so I think that's most of my garment type whips. I've got some blankets that I want to show you. I am really getting into blanket knitting. I missed out on months 1 and 2. Ruby and Roses is doing a color wheel. I think it's called the color wheel. It's called the Color Wheel Club. And I missed out on the first 2 months. However, I have lots of Ruby and Roses minis because I usually get her advent. And I missed it this year because I was in the middle of moving, so bummed about that. But I did order her month 3 of the Color Wheel Club. That being said, she has a Discord group for blankets, and really it's for that color work club, but you can join if you have some of her minis or yarn and you want to do some blanket knitting. But I started the Sweet Shop blanket by Laura Penrose, and I am in love with that blanket. So I have this in a bag by Prairie Bag Studios, and I've been getting bags. This is a really nice big bag. Let's see if it'll focus. There we go. Here we go, little camera. I've been getting bags from her for a long time, since I first started knitting. But I am loving this blanket. Actually, this is really, I guess, the better way to show it. These colors are absolutely just, let's see if I can get you a good, yep, that's pretty much true to color. Yes, love this blanket. It's super squishy. I'm holding fingering weight double. I did order a plain pink. It's similar to this one here. And I ordered that in a DK weight from Ruby and Roses. So I'm gonna use that for some of my squares, but I'm thinking about starting another one. And I'm gonna get, she has a color I think called Fresh Linen, so I think I'm gonna get that in DK weight, a couple skeins of that, and I'm gonna use that as 1/2 of the square. So you see a lot of the blankets are a cream colored or a white, and then there's half of the block is a contrasting color or a contrasting color. So, and I like the plain, but I loved this. So not too late to join if you want to jump in on the fun and order some minis up from Ruby and Roses and then join in on the fun of the blankets. And it's not just Sweet Shop blankets. People are knitting all kinds of blankets, but I really wanted to try this blanket out. And so yeah, I've had the pattern and for a little bit, but it was just kind of, I just didn't start, really is all it is. This gave me the push to start, and I am so glad that I did because I absolutely love it. So I will definitely have more of these on the needles soon. So I might have 2 of these going at all times, just so you know. So, and she's, for her Color Wheel Club and that Discord group, she's Addie from Ruby and Roses has been really nice on showing you the layout of her blanket. So if you wanted to follow along with the Sweet Shop blanket, because she's knitting one, you can follow along with how she has laid out her colors, and it's really nice. I mean, you can't go wrong with her yarn and colors. She just really she does a great job of dyeing yarn. I absolutely love it. So that is my Sweet Shop blanket. Okay. And my, I think, last work in progress is another blanket. So, and this is a baby blanket that I'm knitting. And this is the Chevron baby blanket. This is the one by Espace Tricot, Melissa Culo. probably the wrong way. Sorry about that. My camera cut me off. For whatever reason, it's cutting, sorry, something in my mouth. It's been cutting me off. I don't understand that because my card's not full, so. But anyways, let me get into showing you my blanket. This is there we go. And it's going to be hard to show you this in the frame, I think. So I'll also try to pop a picture in. But I'm really loving this. And this one I can knit while I'm watching TV with David, or I can even knit this while I'm sitting out by the pool because it's cotton. This is Lily's Sugar and Cream cotton. And so, yeah, I am loving this knit. It's not, obviously it's not going to be something I get done in a day, but I do like the knit. And yeah. With it being cotton, I can lay it on my lap and it's not too heavy. It doesn't feel, like, oh my goodness, this is really hot. But yeah, I'm really liking this blanket as well. And I'm really getting into the whole blanket knitting. It's just like, wow, who am I? Who am I is for real. And I think, yes, I think that is all of the knitting. So if you were just here to see my knitting, you're welcome to jump off here. But if you'd like to stick around and hear a little bit of life chatter, I will go into some life chatter. So as you know, it's been a while since I have done a podcast, and a lot is happening in Lisa's world. So the first thing that happened back in late December, mid-December, I moved from Colorado to Arizona. I got a promotion on my job and it has brought me to Arizona. Loving it here. David and I absolutely love it. We just moved into a beautiful home, and we spend a lot of time out back in our pool and just all of that stuff. So learning a lot on my job, finally feeling like I'm getting situated and getting my team organized. So that's been a lot of fun and a lot of work. So that's hence why you have not seen me behind the camera. I've been knitting, but I just have not had time to sit and really focus on putting a podcast together and then doing the editing. And I don't do like fantastic editing. Like there's podcasts out there, they do editing. Like mine's just very basic, but it still takes time to get everything together, get it edited and get it uploaded. So I've been trying to find time to do that. And this weekend was the first that I was able to really find the time to sit down and say, I'm doing it. I'm going to knit a podcast. I told you, I'm rusty. But to sit down and film a podcast and then get it edited for all of you. And so, huge thank you to all of you that have stuck around, and the new viewers that I have that have come over to the channel. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe if you're here today and you like what you see. It just gets my podcast out there to viewers like yourself and our lovely, lovely fiber community. So yes, but that's why I have been kind of MIA, is new job, new city, moving, just trying to organize and do all the like. We finally are feeling very, more situated in our home. I was very fortunate that I was completely moved, so we didn't have to do a ton when it came to the moving part. But you get into a new home and you're trying to get things sorted, and you realize you move things that you probably should not have moved, that you should have gotten rid of actually probably 10 years ago, but you still have them. So that's a whole nother story. But yeah, so we are here now and really enjoying it. And I actually really like the hot weather. So David likes it as well, but probably not as much as I do. So we go to a restaurant and I'm the one that wants to eat outside. He wants to eat inside. And And the only reason that keeps me from eating outside is they have all those sprayers going, and usually I have my hair done, so I flat iron my hair. I'm like, who wants to get their hair wet? So we do end up sitting inside, but it allows me to wear my knits because it's super cold. So, but yeah, so that part is going well. And then let's talk about all those baby knits that I shared in the beginning of the podcast. I am going to be a grandma to twins. I'm super excited. My son is going to be a dad for the first time and a dad to twins. He's freaking out. I'm super excited. But yeah, it's just fun, exciting times. And so, yes, I'm going to be showing some baby knits. I will be very mindful and let you know when I have baby knits to share. And that way, if that is hard for anyone to watch, they can either move forward or, you know, you don't have to watch at all. But I will be sharing baby knits. I will tell you that as I'm knitting most of these baby items, I'm praying for healthy babies as I'm knitting those, and don't know who will be wearing what. And we also do not know yet, 2 boys, 2 girls, boy and a girl. So I'm just knitting, and I'm hoping that, hey, I'm hoping for one of each, but really and truly I'm hoping for healthy babies, and praying for healthy babies. And I would ask you to do the same. Keep us in your thoughts and prayers for healthy babies. So I'm very, very excited for that. So I'll actually be with my son in Florida next week. So looking forward to that trip and visiting with him. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So can't wait for that. So that's where the baby knits come in. And so, yeah, I think at this point I'm going to go into some dream knitting, and then I'll do acquisitions at the very end. So I wrote down, because there's only a couple, because my life has been so busy, I'm trying to not cast on a lot of new things. But let's face it, I'm that cast on girl. That's me. So I do, but I keep reminding myself, don't. So the 2 big things that I want to cast on here soon, one is the Sabai top, I believe it's pronounced, by Suzanne Mueller. And I'll try to pop a picture in here. And then the other one is the Diagonal Pinstripe Scarf by Pearl Soho. And I'll show you, I do have an acquisition for that. So I have been binging on some of the Little Miss knits. She has lovely knits. I mean, like super profesh, super profesh, and love her things. Just look so, I don't know, it's just the way I want my wardrobe to be. So I have been looking at the wraps that she has been knitting, and she knit that diagonal pinstripe wrap, and it is beautiful. So I got some FOMO on that one, and I went out and got the yarn for it, and I will be putting that on my needles. That is a long-term project. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, so I'll put that on the needles and keep knitting on it, and I'm hoping that I'll have it ready for the winter. It does get cold in the winter here in Arizona. I know people can't believe that, but it does. So, and remember, 70s for me is freezing. I have a different gauge on freezing. But yes, so those are my 2 dream knitting items that I really, really want to get on the needles sooner rather than later. So you will probably see me either sharing over on Instagram or back here on the podcast with both of those knits very soon. And so with that, I am now going to go into acquisitions. My first acquisition I want to share is something I am in love with. And if you follow me over on Instagram, you've already seen it. This is my new crossbody bag that I put all my knits in when I'm going somewhere, and it's just so convenient. I'm not going to open it because I've got a lot of stuff in there. But I put a pair of socks in there. I had the baby romper in there. Yeah, just blankets. You know, if you're just doing a couple of those squares, you can do that. So lovely. So I will hopefully pop a picture in of it. But this is by CL Bags and Sandal, or CL Sandals Miami. And this has been like a godsend. So I absolutely love this bag. We'll be getting, I'm sure, more. They also have sandals, but I will link them below. Go over and check them out. The leather is super soft. It's fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Can't say enough good things about this. And I actually saw this on Leslie from a friend to knit with. She showed this on one of her podcasts, and I knew I had to have it. So I went out and I ordered it. So super happy with this bag. So that was probably my big acquisition in the last couple months. And then I have picked up some needles. Didn't really need them, but kind of wanted to try them out. It's a square needle. It's the Knit Pro J'adore, and I got these at Knit Picks. See if it's gonna focus. There we go. So part of the reason I got them is they're purple. Anybody that knows me, I have a thing for purple. So love the needles though. I do like the needles, and they came in this really cute case. So love those. So I've just added some more needles to my needle collection. And I've got needles on a lot of things, so I'll use them. It's not a problem. Okay. And speaking of the diagonal pinstripe wrap or scarf, I ordered yarn, and this is the line weight yarn from Pearl Soho. And this is those are the colors that I will be using for my scarf. I cannot wait to get this on the needles. So I think the kind of tannish one is reed gray. Sorry for the crinkle. And the purpley one is red plum. So that color is just to die for. It really is. This one's blowing out. But yes, super excited. So, and I think that is it for this podcast. So until next time, friends, happy making.